Foster care and adoption has always been something that's been on our hearts, even before we got married and started the process of becoming a married couple. It's always been something that we've always talked about. Her background in social work and my background just being here as a part of Calvary, the crisis in the Pinellas County area has always been something that's been on full display for us.
It came to a point in our marriage where we realized this call was not going to go away, and this feeling that we had of knowing we had to get involved was not going away. So God was really persistent on our hearts of just different people we spoke to, different things that were going on here at Calvary, really just affirming in our hearts that we needed to do something. We needed to get licensed, we needed to become a foster family and really step into that area and do something about the need that we had already seen and been aware of.
We realized we're living in a 3-bedroom house and 1 bedroom is being taken. And so at that point it kind of became really real to us. What can we do with what we've been given?
We were not even licensed yet. And the licensing specialist with A Door of Hope that was working with us came to our house for our final visit to kind of finalize everything. And she said, well, I know you're not licensed yet, but we actually have 2 girls that need placement very soon. And I thought, we're not even licensed yet. The need is so great that we aren't even foster parents yet, and they're already asking and preparing us. There was no hesitation in our decision. I think when we looked at each other and started talking about, should we do it? We were like, well, what are reasons that we should not do this? What are reasons we should not say yes to this moment? And the list was blank. We had no reason to not say yes. And so we just stepped forward in confidence that this is who God was going to be placing in our home for whatever length of time.
Hi, my name is Amara.
Hi, my name is Ayla.
At first they're like, you guys are gonna go to a different foster home, and they showed us a picture of Lainey and Matt, and we went on a FaceTime call with them, and I remember it was around my birthday, and Matt and Lainey sent me a video or something saying happy birthday, so I was like, oh, okay, they seem nice.
And I remember our first FaceTime call. It was awkward at first, but it was just so reaffirming when we hung up that these 2 girls are beautiful, they're wonderful, and they're amazing, and there's no way that we could say no. There's no way we could say no.
We knew in that moment, as soon as we met them, our lives have forever changed after this moment. We were pretty set on working towards reunification with their biological parents from the beginning. That is typically the goal of fostering, is to redeem these families and reunite them. And
I remember not trying to think about that, and I remember wondering if because in my mind I was like, I just don't think about it because you're not staying here, because they would tell us we don't really think this is the right home. So then I was just nervous to move again, where would I end up with? So
every night I was praying, and I was like, please, I don't want to move anymore. So I was just I said, I want to stay here and stuff. And we did this paper. I don't know what it was for, but Lainey made us do this paper to fill out something of what we would want our next foster home or something. And I just didn't want to move, so.
And it just we came to a place where we realized that God was not moving these children anywhere, and that they were ours, and they were our family, and we'd become a family. And we asked ourselves at one point, who is going to raise my children better than me? And so I said, I could not possibly allow anybody else to have these children.
And just through time and through bonds that were being developed and relationship that increased in love towards each other, I think there was a point where we kind of looked at each other one night and we're like, this is, if it comes to it, they're not going anywhere else. These are our kids. This is our family.
So one day, I think we came home from school, or no, we came home from our aunt's house. Yeah, and we were showing them all the stuff we got and stuff, and they're like, oh, we have a surprise for you. So then, okay, I just open it and I feel shoes, so I take off my blindfold. And there's shoes, and I didn't even realize that there was our card on top, so I kind of just flicked that away, and I was just like looking at the shoes, oh, thank you. And then they're like, and he goes, oh wait, did you see the card? And I opened it and I was like, will you be our forever? And then it said foster crossed out daughters, and I just started crying because I knew I was gonna be there forever. And then
our adoption day was a day that a judge solidified on paper what we had known for so long in our hearts to be true. And that was that we are family, and we are just ordained by God from the beginning of time to be together and to raise these girls and to be family with them. And it was a really cool moment when you see a human system affirm and agree with what you know God has been willing and planning for so long.
I remember I was at camp for Calvary Student Ministry Camp, and I remember like the guest speaker, I think it was, who was speaking there, like was really good, and like I wanted to give my life to Jesus, so me and my best friend, we both did it the same day.
Well, I just decided like at church one day, but it was like really hard. Like I've been thinking about it and stuff.
And then I remember at one of the beach baptisms, I got baptized with my family, like a lot of my family members and my best friend and stuff. So
when I talk to other people that are thinking about foster care, thinking about becoming foster parents, I would say the most typical critique or hesitancy or feedback that I get is someone saying, oh, I could never do that. I would get way too attached to these kids. To which my response is, yes, you are supposed to. That is the goal. That is the mission of foster care, is to get attached to children who need a parent to show them healthy attachment and to love a child and bond with them, and to show them what it means to be loved and cared for and just unconditionally loved by a parent. That's what we're supposed to do. And I think it's very natural for people to be hesitant and scared in wanting to self-preserve. I think that's our human nature, is to stay comfortable. How can we protect ourselves from hurt? But in the foster care world, you either get attached, or the other option is to turn a blind eye to children who are living in the worst nightmares of their entire lives. So when we ask ourselves that question, like, are we willing to get attached to kids? We have to say yes. Like, how can you say no? I'm not going to attach to these children in need. I think it is just logically, I think all of us would agree, we're not going to look at a child in need and say, no thanks, I'm not going to help them. And just spiritually, it is what Christ has done for us and called us to do for others. So if we are stepping into a place where we are willing to fully expend ourselves, to fully empty ourselves and give every mental and spiritual and emotional resource that we have to a child that's in crisis, how much more has God promised that He will renew us and fill us and bring us abundant life? It is a promise that He is faithful to, and it's a promise that I don't think we would have ever experienced, of just abundant full life, if we had not stepped into a place and said yes and been obedient to the call to fully expend ourselves for the sake of children's souls that need to know the hope of the gospel.